Welcome in, everyone. Welcome into tonight's lovely fun where we're trying to get things done and do things right. I'm going to let Matt introduce because I need to deal with Child. So I will be back, but we're going to let Matt take it away for a bit.
Hello. It's good to see everyone here. Yeah, we are going to be doing something today. Let me just mute myself here so that I'm not getting echo. Hello. So we are doing some Pathfinder 2 today, and we are going into DM Mix as well, which is called Eòlas. And we are doing a number of things. We are world building, we have built some characters, we are role-playing those characters and voice acting those characters. We are exploring the world together, we are building the world together, we are doing a whole bunch of different things. And last time was our first session. We met our fine characters, they got to know each other a little bit, but not very much. And we started on a quest to journey north to see if we could discover what had happened to one of our villagers. Every month in this world, in Eòlas, in this area, the local villagers send representatives from the village to go and trade, make, marriage agreements, discuss problems that they're having. And all of the tribes got together, as they do every single month, this month, except for one. One of them, there was no representatives, and so the elders decided, well, we really need to go and see what has gone on, see if our friends, our neighbors are okay. We know that winter is on its way. We've still got some time, but if they can't trade, they're not going to have what they need, and we're also not going to have their resources. We're all going to suffer. And we want to make sure they're okay. We want to travel there and see what has gone on. And so our characters got involved in helping out with that and have departed to travel north to get to that city that we have called Soveza as one of the things there. And so we are on our way. We know that on our trek north, we are going to encounter hills, plains, forests, potentially the foot of the mountains, and as we go further and further north, colder and colder temperatures. That's kind of the situation that we have. How are you going there, DM?
One-armed.
Yeah.
But I'm doing what I can do.
Shit, says Lady Rochelle. What is going on, Lady Rochelle? Are you doing okay?
She's been having some fun with Diablo 4 earlier and other things. At least this one's chill for so far.
Yeah, okay. So doing some Diablo 4. Cool. That's good.
15 bags. But yeah, crazy.
Okay. Right, for some reason...
It's saying you're starting soon.
Yeah.
On your stream.
I've been... Okay. I've been talking to yours.
Yep, you're all good. I just making sure that was intentional.
Yeah, I'm gonna start my timer though because that happens. Got carried away trying to cover stuff for you guys.
Man, I appreciate it. Sorry about that.
No, good. Well, human life is fraught with.
What are you doing? So Matt, she's like squirming and everything. It's declining. Oh, I'm sorry, lady.
Trying to sub, but it keeps declining. I think I know why, but it means I have to take my old ass knees upstairs. Oof.
Can we not do that, please?
I can get you a subscription if you want, lady. We have the power. Well, just so that you know, you don't have to do that today, okay? We appreciate it. DMX appreciates it, but doesn't have to be right now. If you can make that happen right now, take your time. We'll sort it out. It'll be okay. We really appreciate the thought. All right, I'm going to jump over to my own and introduce.
I just appreciate people being here. I'm going to be quiet because I got this noise.
Hey. Oh. Hello, my name is Matt in the Hat, and here we are with DM Nix, who has life going on in the background, and we are joining together to play some Eòlas today again, play our wonderful characters. We have them on the screen here. I am going to be playing as Skewer and as Marigold, and DM Nix is going to be playing as Thurball and Peter as we travel north to try to get to Sylvester and help the people out. But we are just on our journey, and we have just weathered a weird spiritual storm kind of dealio, where there were wailing spirits born upon the winds, and they were harrowing us. And this happened after we beat some cultists, and we figure now, after both of these events, that these cultists have established some sort of, I don't know, base nearby, some sort of operation that maybe they're looking to affect change in the area through storms and storm worship or some such thing. We don't know exactly what's involved, but we know it could be dangerous. And so we're making our way north a little bit more carefully and considerately with these discoveries. And DMX will be part and parcel of all of this. We will be joining together to create the world as we go. Yeah. So we are going to maybe focus for a few minutes on the characters and what they're thinking and feeling as we progress north. We will probably be putting up some encounter maps in a little while, but for the moment, while we're getting our technology in order and getting things working, we're just going to have this kind of blank red here as we're traveling. And while you can't really see it very well, I can like hold up what we have been doing as far as our map goes. So I can zoom in here. We can see that right to the top of the map there is where we're going. And we're coming from these hills here. So we've got some distance. Now, I always find it hard to show the map because it sort of does the reverse thing. And so I'm pointing in the opposite direction to how I am in real life. So here, we're starting here and we're traveling in a generally northward direction. We're actually following this river here at the moment. We're traveling north, following the river, going in that direction. And once we get to, I don't know, somewhere up here, we're gonna leave the river and travel to the west and go around this mountain here, or these hills that are going to be at the bottom of the mountain, the foothills, to get to the town that we're journeying toward. But in order to do that, we're following the river. It is now, after the storm and after the wailing has stopped, we gather our materials together. We have had a very good meal, thanks to Marigold's excellent cooking. And so some of the things that we might experience are going to be a little bit easier for us because we are well fed. And we are traveling along this river, and we can see, because we are coming down from some hills, the lay of the land, and we can see that for at least most of today, that we are going to be in relatively open terrain. It's going to have some hills and a couple of trees here and there, maybe some nooks and crannies in the land, but probably in a couple of hours travel, we can see off in the distance that there is some forestation going on, and that probably we're going to be having to traverse through that in order to keep close to the river. And so that is our situation. We're keeping watch of the nearby plains, seeing if we can see any spots where people might be gathering because of these cultists that we came up against, and journeying generally toward those forests.
What'd I miss? And I'm sorry. Of course, it has to be today when, all the stuff happens, right?
Yeah. It makes sense. If someone wants to stalk me to the middle of a cornfield where I live, I'm just going to give them props for the effort when they get here. Just get the shotgun out. You'll be right.
Lady.
Totally original art. Yes, it is totally original art, and this is just the draft. DMX will be generating some more better, digital versions of all of this, but we wanted some sort of representation, a general picture, so that it helps us and we can fill it out and then have more and more details, so that when we do go away and make it, that we have as much as we can to do that. So that's what we're doing. Anything to add here? Do you think that the first few hours of the day here go relatively calmly? Given that we have overcome the wailing...
I would think because of that, yes. Because they're... Probably the cultists would sit back and reevaluate, be like, oh, so to take care of that, what's plan number 2? I have 3 kids and 2 dogs, lady.
was two kids until very recently.
Yep.
When new one came along and has...
Lady's seen the new one today, in fact.
Ooh. Because that is directly related to a calm morning. Absolutely.
What is a calm morning? What is this foreign context you speak of?
Yeah. Not sure. Yeah, so it seems like the plains, the open grasslands that we're traversing are relatively calm as we're traveling. Given that there are nearby tribes who have traversed this land, we can see the footfall, we can see the passage of especially the tribe or village from Ander, which was Peter's village. We can see their passage, given that they came from the north towards the south in order to get here. I'm assuming that we can still see that, because it hasn't rained too
somewhat.
Yeah. See maybe some wagon wheel rivets in the land as things went by. And it seems that their passage has made things relatively calm. But we know that around, like in a couple of hours, or maybe around midday, slightly after, we're going to get to those forests, that forested area. Do we think that this is a fairly small forest? Would this be named, do you think? I know not all forests are named, not all woodland is named. Would they name this area, do we think?
Maybe not.
Is this really just passage? And in relation to this, something that we probably need to answer first is, what is the state of roads between all of our villages?
I think it's more paths, like basic roads, right? Because it's not that developed yet.
Mm-hmm. Do we think that the roads would lead to a central location and out from there? Do we think that they're just going to each other for the moment?
Probably mostly to each other, or at least to some other town, right?
Yep. So I think, given what we're saying, that there's probably a small town somewhere around the base of the foothills of the mountains. There is an intersection between in the paths or roads between Briarbridge and Ander, because
makes sense.
If we look at the map, I hate having everything reversed. Makes life very hard. Let me go to this one. Zoom in. Yeah, so we have Ander here. We have Briarbridge down here. And I think that there would be some sort of path between the two, some sort of road. It would probably be better in some locations and worse in some locations, but probably about halfway, or potentially multiple little villages along the way. But I think for now, we don't have to make all of the villages. We can just make one. We don't have to name this just yet. But I think having one here somewhere around the base of the mountains because it's kind of like the intersection, makes a good deal of sense. And given that there's something there and that there's forests and plains to their south, I think that probably that this village uses both ore from the mountains and uses timber from the local area, and probably they have given these areas names, given that there is a village there. What do we think about that?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's what we're going with, right? We're creating the stuff as it comes up and be like, okay, that's logical. That's what's needed.
Okay. Cool. So I'm gonna make a couple of small little things here. We're gonna make a forest. It's going to surround this local area. And sort of make its way. I think that it's probably a forested town, in fact, or on the edge of the forest, maybe, where that they can get good access to wood. Okay, so I'm just drawing this, like getting us some sort of
Yeah, you're good.
representation.
Thank you for that. I'm, as I said, dealing with being one-armed, so it's making things a little bit more tricky.
That's fine. Yeah, so I'll just draw a little forest in here.
Yeah, I'm glad I caught that. You goose.
Yeah, and so given that this the forest that we're going to be approaching potentially isn't named because we're not quite at the one that is named yet. Maybe this one that we're coming up to is like.
And we can always do placeholder name as well. Just say town 2 for now. We need.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. We're not too
town,
concerned
and then we can come
about
up with the name of it later.
working specifics. Yeah.
Because like we said, this is a setting we're developing. It doesn't exist. We are creating it and building it right now.
We're going to travel until about lunchtime, and before we enter into this forest, which isn't the forest near the town that we're going to be hopefully making our way to by the end of today, it's a smaller forest, and we know it's going to probably take a couple of hours to get through. But we know that we're going to be keeping to the river mostly, and that will help guide our path.
As people who've studied any sort of historic stuff know, rivers or brooks or waterways of any sort were the first route used for passages.
Right.
And so it makes complete sense that that would be where their first ones were, because it's already more cleared next to the water than not. So.
Okay. Makes sense to me. The river, DM. For this section. I think we're crossing the river.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. We know it's not yet at this point of the river. It's not huge. So here we are.
Right.
Guys,
it depends on how close it is to the mountains. The closer to the mountains, the more narrow it is, the faster moving.
Our situation here. Okay. So we've got this town, which we're going to represent over here, which is in the kind of on the outskirts of this larger forest. And then between we are just coming into, sorry, as I try and figure out which way is up and down, right. We are actually just coming into this one. And I think that there's probably on the edge of this forest, there's probably a bridge down here, comes across and crosses over to this side and travels north to get to
a bridge
Andor.
or a ford, absolutely. Has to be some crossing if the people are going to be using it for that town, which they would want to be able to.
And we're gonna have a path up to Andor
You're loud.
And so what I might do, because we've got rivers and we don't have colors right now, I'm going to make the path staggered, like dotted, instead of even, so to differentiate that it's a path rather than a river. Okay. And then from Ander, it would come down this way, around the foothills in that forest until it made it to that town, and then from that town onwards to Brybridge this way. Yeah, and we don't need too many more details than that. But we are coming through this forest down here, and we're crossing either a ford or a bridge. Do we want to make it one or the other? Maybe there is text, or maybe there's something, maybe there's something interesting here.
It being more interesting as a natural ford or a bridge? If it's a bridge, it's a weak point for, attack or damage or weather, right? Where if it's a ford, it is in threat for weather because rising water would mean you then can't ford it. So then we would need to determine, has there been, current rains to make it unpassable or not?
Yeah, we'll see if chat has anything to say. Otherwise, we will establish it ourselves. But good interaction is fun. We enjoy to hear what chat thinks.
Exactly. So I was like, we'll bring him in.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone on my chat or anyone on DMX's chat, if you have any ideas as to whether you would like there to be a ford or a bridge, whether you would like there to be a toll or something interesting, then let us know. Yeah, so that's looking a little bit nicer.
Yeah, so I'm going to delete the other one. Right? We're very talkative. Yes, we are, aren't we, Little Myth? Actually, I'm trying to get a recording of her making her little dialogue to be a sound routine. It's going to be an expensive one because it's going to be a long one.
Okay. Sure.
It's going to be like 30 seconds to a minute long of her being like,
what's hilarious is as they get slightly older and they start doing the as they get into that tired stage.
Yep, that's kind of where she's. And it's just like, you're a bit early for that. She don't care.
That's great. That's great for language development, so we encourage that.
Oh, I mean, you can't really stop it, but yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's not exactly expected.
Right.
So the grass map is there now.
Okay. So we haven't really had anyone just chatting at the moment. That's totally fine.
Yep.
All right. So
what do you think? Which one sounds
I think
more...
something should be here, right? Whether it's a ford or a bridge, I think here are the situations. Whether it's a ford or a bridge, I don't think it's rained enough for there to be an issue with crossing the water right now.
Okay.
I think we have had some rain, but I don't think it's enough to have it be flooding. So either way, but I think that there should be something here, potentially a hazard, potentially an encounter, even if it's not a combat encounter. People that we're seeing doing stuff, maybe
well, we
it's
don't
local
know if
wildlife.
they are Yeah, it could either be wildlife or it could be people. The people could actually be from town and we not know if they're part of the cult or not. So we don't know if they're part of the cult. We don't even know who the cult is exactly, right? Like, us as GMs determine that it's going to be the cult of the Eternal Frost, but the characters don't know that. They know they're a cultist group of some sort doing things, but who and what is not necessarily known.
Yeah, do we think that we've heard of them before?
Well, why don't you roll a, what would you call it, religion or occultism?
I think it's
What do you use for
probably a religion.
cultists?
It's probably a religion check. Occultism is like weird ass, crazy, extraterrestrial things. Religion is all things that are belief systems and, or, stuff like that. So I think that's one a bit better.
Okay.
Yes, I'm going
Let's do
to
it.
roll to see religion. Roll. Cool. Roll. Okay, so we have a 12 over there, and Skewer has, who is not trained in religious ways, has no idea whatsoever. He's like, I think they're people, and they probably believe something.
Did he crit fail or just fail?
Well, you got a 4. At this level, yes, that's a crit fail. He's like, I'm pretty sure they probably...
Eòlas' finest, report.
Hey!
We await your command.
really
No
appreciate
power in the
it,
verse
lady.
can stop me.
They probably are some sort of demon worshipping folk, right? Like, if they like the storm and the lightning, they probably like demons, and they're probably
They're all
like...
about the lava and the explosions and the fire, right? Do the reverse.
So I think they're probably got like ritualistic carvings on them. They're probably like, human sacrifice. Who knows what? All of this being completely just made up. Wow, we're rolling super well. Okay, so Peter might have... Okay, so here's an interesting narrative moment.
Oh.
Maybe these folk come from the mountains because Peter seems to maybe know a little
he's had
bit
runnings
more.
in with them then. Because maybe they don't like what they're doing up there and they're like, this is our territory, and so they have had some dealings. So he might be like, yeah, they're the cult of Eternal Frost. They're all about winter and bad weather and problems, and they're very, very unpleasant folk.
Okay, so we're saying somewhere in the mountains, near but not too close to Ander, the cultists of the Eternal Frost are more active and doing things that Ander's people are disagreeing with and affected negatively by, potentially. So far, DM with the baby is the most entertaining part of this. Well, that's an indictment on on our storytelling here. That's okay. Cool. All good. And you don't have to apologize as long as it can be somewhat entertaining for you. It's all good. Okay, and so Peter is able to tell us a little bit about what they have been doing in the mountains and let us know that they're kind of nuisances to Andir and the surrounding districts, areas. And the rest of us have not heard of them, haven't really encountered them.
I'm sorry. I need to try to figure out why she won't quit screaming at me. So you can keep talking about the stuff and just throw me in when I get back. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. What I'm going to do is I'll start to generate some encounter stuff, and we'll get some action afterwards. Yeah, so we'll do this together. We're going to have some things going on at the crossing here. Basically, to the south of this river, as the characters are arriving towards the forest, there is a crossing, whether it be a ford or a bridge. We haven't determined, but what we know is that it crosses over to the other side, to the eastern side of the river, and there is a road or track that leads to the north, following the river on the other side, on the eastern side of the river. So that's why we've crossed, because journeying along the road is much safer and easier. And so that is where we're at. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to dashboard over here, and we're going to generate a little wilderness encounter that's going to happen. It doesn't necessarily have to involve fighting, but we're going to make a little encounter so that when DM Nix is back and has solved his issues over there, that we might be able to actually have some engagement and a little bit more of a structured play over there. And so that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to head over to Pathfinder dashboard over here, version 2 by Ashley Henrik, who has been developing this tool for GMs and for players alike. And we're going to be putting animal into this, and I'm going to be having a look at the animals that are nearby, and I think maybe having something either amphibious or maybe feeding off the river or something like that that's happening in this area might be a good thing. And so that's what we're looking at. Have some venomous creatures maybe. I'm just having a look at what we have. All right. So we have we're too low for mountain goats at the moment. We have some moose. Riding pony, sea snake. Sea snakes could be interesting. Stonefish. Okay. Okay. We have a rare encounter here, which would be an abyssal bunny swarm. Okay. Yeah, no, we're not going to be doing that. Alchemy Gorge Giant Leech. Ooh. I like this idea. I like this idea a lot. Okay. Because that can actually inform the story. Alright, let's do it. Let's do this. So we're gonna have a couple of these. 3 would make it severe. Alright, so I'm only gonna do 2. So So we're going to do 2 of these. And I think we'll do a hazard as well. Because I like that maybe like it's muddy. So I'm going to see if I can find something that looks like mud. Maybe sodden floor, something like that. Give way, take damage, prone. It's not exactly what I'm looking for. Unstable pits isn't exactly what I'm looking for. Just having a look for something that feels a little bit like mud. And so just going to be looking here for that. And then we can put these things into place. Don't mind me while I'm looking this up. Mud. Minor remove stones of flow of water. That's possible. Quagmire. Yes, that's what it's going to be. So we're going to get rid of the other thing. So this one we're going to delete. Alright, and we're going to make it a weak Quagmire. Alright, so what we're going to do... No such thing as structure when you're a parent. It's that thing you're always trying to achieve, but then there's throw up, or the dog runs past. Any number of things can happen. Yeah, and look, real life comes first. Do chat. Now you both get the viewers. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And DMX will be back soon. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be popping over here, and we are going to be making a Quagmire. That's a Quagmire. There we go. Quagmire over here. Okay, so there it is. Obviously, we're going to be doing this maybe on a slightly different map. And I'm just going to see if we have the grass loaded. See what the situation is. Yes, we do. Okay, so I'm going to pull that over to the other map. And we're going to pull all of these tokens, in fact, over to the other map. And we're going to make this happen here. Alright, so we're going to have... What we'll do is we'll have this area here be where we're at. We're going to paste our people down. We're going to pop the Quagmire here. We're going to have our people be a little bit closer to where we need to be. We're going to populate this with trees and such soon, and we're going to put some water flowing through here in a minute. We'll get to that, but just bear with us as we're generating this down. And the next thing we're going to do is make some gorged giant leech. And so we're going to have this, and we're going to have 2 of those on either side of the mud. Alright, and then it's looking good. We're getting there. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to go, if I remember how to do this. need that. Tile controls? Tile browser? And we're going to go here into these maps. We're going to look at trees. We're going to look at ponds, platforms and ponds. So ponds. I like this one. Yeah, that's really good. Oh, that is so good. All right, so we're gonna make a couple of those. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drag this down and I don't know, you can sort of make it a bit broader like this. Go. Awesome. And then we're gonna have some trees. So again, we're going to look in here for some trees. Hey Dragon Playing Worm, how's it going? Good to see you. And I think we're gonna do these trees, maybe some of those trees. Now just populate the map with a couple of these. And then we'll spread them out and we'll make some variants happen. We like to have some slightly different colors going on. It's coming towards winter, so I don't think we've got pink. Maybe some of these types as well. We're in the middle of summer, not summer, we're coming up towards winter. It's a couple of months away. But I think that's probably enough. So we're just gonna like spread some of these out, pop some on either side of this river. Just like this. Just populating the situation. We're gonna copy this one, pop another one down here.
I am sorry with how things have gone.
That's okay. It is what it is. Alright, so you will notice that I have been creating us a little encounter map.
See that? Nice.
Okay, and so I'm going to define what all of these areas are here in just a moment. But we're just going to create it, and we'll go from there. So we're going to have something like this.
Yes, lady. Screaming and fussing is very comforting.
All right, like we don't need to get too much more complicated than this. Okay,
it's good.
So what we have, DM, is we have a river. And what we're saying is that this area that we've come to is a natural ford, and we're going to move off that layer, and
Yeah, so like right here. Natural
yeah,
ford.
and I'm actually going to be making a bit more of... Can I stretch this one out? Let's see. If I can make it... That's okay. We don't need to do anything else. Okay, so we're going to say that this crossing is a little muddy at the moment. It's not too hard to cross, but it's a little muddy. Okay, so I'm just... These quagmire... It's just going to be one quagmire, but I'm going to represent the area that quagmire's in. Okay? Just by making a little band across the river here.
Yep.
And what we don't know at the moment, what we're going to represent here, because these are going to be hidden at the moment because they're underwater. There we go. Is that there might be some baddies, some creatures that are lurking in the waters. These are natural creatures, but they have been affected by something that's come down the river, DM next. Something has come down the river, and you can see with their name that they have become alchemy gorged. So some sort of, I don't know, mixture of some description, pollution perhaps, has
It's
come down the
probably
river.
the cultists up the river messing around and, you know,
We could
dump their waste.
We could say that. It could be something completely
Might not be,
unrelated.
but yep.
But they are in the water, which our characters don't know about. But they know of that, and they can see that this area is pretty safe for crossing. It's better than the rest. We're going to say that the rest of the river going north looks to be running a bit faster, maybe a little bit broader than this section, and looks a little bit more dangerous, and that this looks like the safest place to cross, and indeed is where the tracks and path lead. So there's a little bit of a path, and what I might do just to represent that, because it helps to represent that, is we can draw something that goes like this. And this can be our path leads. Our beautiful, well-manicured road here. Look how gorgeous that is. Yeah, so that's our situation. Watching these guys and thinking I should probably eat soon. Yeah, definitely worthwhile eating. You're tired but good, Dragon Playing Worm. It's good to hear that you're good. Alright, so what are our characters thinking, feeling, doing as they are approaching this crossing? I cannot hear you, DM.
I just realized I was muted, that's why. I've said a number of things to you. No wonder you didn't respond. I meant to say
Sorry.
food is good, not good as good. I can't type right. Lady, it wasn't very comforting or restful. It was very screaming and stressful. Thank you for keeping up with that, Matt. I am sorry about the chaos tonight. And yeah,
Okay.
that's where I was at. Peter probably is thinking, based on the cultists, that he's probably thinking that the cultists, he's wondering why they would be active in this area. They're supposed to be elsewhere, right? So he's like, what's going on? Why would they be here? Are they supposed to be in the other area? This does not bode well.
Yep.
And Third-Ball's just thinking, I want to go home to my nice spices and good food and pillows. I do not like this place. It's too cold and uncomfortable. I'd rather sleep in the sun.
Indeed.
What about Marigold and Skewer?
Marigold, as she makes her way, is probably keeping her eye out for these cultists, but given that we were able to quell the storm, she is wondering just what is going on and why her patron might be leading her, where her patron might be leading her, why her patron might be leading her, what is going on. She is following Visa, and she has faith in a way, but she didn't. She's 77. And this trek north is something that she wasn't expecting. Skewer is keeping his eye on the tree cover nearby. He claps Peter often on the shoulder, and he's like, "You're doing a good job looking to the south, and I'm doing a decent job looking to the north, just in case there's something that might happen."
Should always keep eyes out. You never know when there'll be an accident at the forge. Well, not at the forge, but the same thought remains.
Well, dearie, it does look like we're coming to a ford in the river. We've traveled a little bit of the way up, and you saw further down that it was a little bit too dangerous. And it seems like this area with the road leading up and all of that seems like that this might be where everyone else has passed. Is this where you crossed before, Peter? Did you experience anything that we should know about as you were crossing?
When I came, it was no problem, but different seasons bring different things. We should stay vigilant, because you never know.
Yes, we did have some rain overnight, and those storms might have, I don't know, dislodged some things. So yes, being careful is probably the right idea, dearie.
Would be nice if we had wagon to sit in, yes? Instead of all this walking.
And I suppose that you would pull it, would you?
No, you have beasts for that. Or maybe Peter.
Hey.
Well, if you're not willing to pull it yourself, or at least take turns, I think you're best to keep your mind to your own business.
All right.
How much wood did you collect last night, Thurball, for your beautiful fire?
I collected what I could, you know? We all did our parts, no? We all did our parts.
Right, you are.
You just did a little part, not a big part.
Indeed. So Skewer, I think, is going to approach. He is going to be looking to, he's going to sort of seek in these upper areas, making sure that there's nothing preventing us from being able to cross, keeping a good sight out. And he would suggest that Peter does the same for the south.
Doing similar down here, just to make sure that, are there signs of dislodging stones or anything like that?
Okay, so let's make perception checks.
Yes. Bring all the perception. You should stay very vigilant. will I relax back here?
Wow. Neither of these guys. They're both looking for threats, which don't exist. It's a nice day. There's no one out lurking in the shadows. There's no cultists, lurking to come out at us, and that's what they're looking for. And so they don't recognize what's going on. They can see that, and Peter has experienced this because he's crossed the river before, this ford before, that it was a little muddy the last time, but it didn't slow them down really. It was more just a casual thing. But given that it has rained overnight, we do have enough intelligence to know that with rain comes a little extra liquid, and potentially this mud might be a little more clingy. And so we know that could be the case, but we don't see any threat. So Skewer will come up to the river, and he'll be like, right, well, Peter, if you don't mind, if you can just wait by that tree there, maybe tie off a piece of rope, and if I do happen to slip in, just, throw me the rope and we can make sure that we don't get swept down. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but, if we get stuck or something...
tie a rope on self and I hold?
All right, well, that can work too. So he ties off some rope and he throws it to Peter, and he starts to...
I was told I weigh as much as 3. So I stand here firm and be 3 for you.
So as he makes his way, he has to make an athletics check, which I will pop up into the chat.
And this is called not metagaming.
You have to actually start an encounter with this because of all of the situations. We're just going to have one quagmire to represent, even though we've got 4 to just show where they are, but we're just going to add 1. So that's going to be populated. So that's going to be there. All of us are going to be in the initiative here.
Except for Bird.
Except for Bird, who is part of Marigold's character.
Do we want to add the leeches in?
Yes.
Just knowing that they will be.
Yeah, because it helps to narrate the situation.
Yep.
Very good. Wow.
Here we go.
Wow. Okay, so apparently these leeches are very fast. Oh my lord. Alright, so Skewer...
At least they're probably going to wait for attack of opportunity, wait till their target's there instead of revealing themselves immediately. Or do you think they would immediately jump?
I think what we're gonna do is that right now, let's say that these 2 turns that are gonna happen, let's say that that's them coming up to right close by, like this kind of close, the edges of the, and that they're lying in wait. Let's say that they've prepared an action if something moves up to them to try and leech on. I think that makes a good deal of sense and has them go, because how I want to start this is Skewer making the check against the athletics for the purposes... Oh, well, he's not affected because we're not up to the quagmire. So he's gonna have moved. He's moving once down into here.
Yeah.
And he's making his way. He's like, guys, it is a little bit sticky. You will just have to watch out of that. And because... Is there a reaction of this hazard? No. Okay, so on its turn, it will try and suck him down. So I think, for efficacy, he is going to make his way with his second action here. And you can employ the attack there from that one, if you like. He doesn't know, in this case, that is there. I'm going to make him flat-footed, or off guard, rather, to this attack.
Okay.
Because it is hidden to him.
So
He's making his way slowly but surely, and this is difficult terrain, by the way, for this whole journey.
Disable is survival. Do athletics. Did you do your athletics check yet, or no?
So the Quagmire hasn't had its
routine.
turn to
One
pull him
action.
down yet.
Okay.
So when that routine happens, it will pull him down, and then after that, he gets his he has to do his stuff.
Trigger a smaller, larger creature walk into the correct effect. Okay. So it just does it. Doesn't have an attack. It just says it does it.
On its
Sinks into the
initiative, it
Quagmire up
pulls
to its
each creature
waist.
down. Yeah.
Yep. And so then they have to do the...
Yeah. So it hasn't had
Athletics
its
check.
action yet.
Okay.
But you can use the giant leech who has prepared an action. It's a single action, any to attack Skewer who has moved close enough to it.
I forgot about that one. I was looking at the other. So, leave probably the mouth attack, their one attack. What do you do? Do you want to spend an action to grapple? Yes, I do, but I can't.
Cannot. So it becomes visible, and you are doing damage because my armor class is nowhere near 24. In fact, that's nearly a critical hit because I'm off guard.
15.
So that's lucky.
All right, ready? Don't die! Ooh.
So we're gonna do some damage to
The dice are
Skewer,
not nice to us, sir.
who has one action left. And he's like, "Oh, what was that?" And he hasn't got his weapon out because why would he? So, with his action, he is going to draw.
With his final action, he's gonna
His
mess
pike.
his pants.
Yeah, because there's no way, like, he's crossing a river. You would not have your pike in your hand as you're trying to cross a river.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, final action, mess pants.
And then Marigold has the next turn. She obviously sees that something's going on. She's like, "Oh dearie, that looks nasty."
Did you see
And
the
we'll-
leap worms in Dragon's Dogma?
Leap worms?
They're basically like these like worms that just had the front was a mouth. Like the whole front of them was a mouth. That's what I'm thinking of with these things. And it just like jumped at you
Stunning.
out of the dark, and it wasn't very big, but it just comes leaping at your face, and you're like, yeah.
Alright, so she is going to cast Protect a Tree. And medium tree grows. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna copy one of the ones that we've already populated.
Actually, I'm going to create an actor for this.
Okay, sure, you go
Because
ahead.
we'll be using it, right?
Yes.
So I'm
Be
like,
using
why don't we just make one?
And she will do it like here, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, here.
We're just going to call it a familiar for now.
That's fine.
Oh, change the size.
It's a medium tree. It has an armor class of 10 and 10 hit points. She's like, stay in the cover of the tree, dearie. It'll protect you. And that is her turn because she moved and she cast a 2-action spell. Peter?
Guess. Guess to be closer than I thought with.
Looking at you makes me need coffee. Wow.
She was saying because I'm tired and just dealt with all the screaming and I'm just look like I'm beat because I'm dealt with all the screaming.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Not wrong. Wish she was wrong, but she's not wrong.
And he is not off guard anymore.
There's tree. Do you want it to have foliage or not have foliage?
Let's have it be one that either has a color or it is slightly different so that we can, like, distinguish. Maybe it's a pink one or an orange one or something.
Yep.
Maybe it has.
I gave you a pink one. I figured that fits for marigold. And, fey tree.
Yeah. Because then it's just like it. We know that one is always going to be.
Right, you can move it wherever you want. I didn't.
It's a little too large, but
It's too large. I thought you said it was large.
no, medium tree.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was my bad. I'll fix it.
Sweet, it's going to be here. All right, protect tree. Excellent. So it is Peter's turn.
I'm going to probably cast armor and from there probably I don't know. Armor is probably the first thing we need to do because armor.
Yep. Now, before you do your armor,
you got to do the other
remember,
one. Yep.
you have
You
to
got to
channel
activate
your
it.
elements. It doesn't matter that they're slightly in the wrong order on the chat. We're not worrying about that, but just so that we're doing
Channel
things right.
elements.
Channel elements happens first.
Yep. Wait, did it? Oh, it put it on a lot. I didn't realize it had done it. Okay. So channel elements and then armored in earth, which we put in here. So he's going to now be. He's going to wear it as armor. So now he has his AC. So that was his 3 actions. Because channel takes 1. So the first round of combat is slamming his fist together and rock coming up around him and clinging to his body.
Yeah, so channel elements is 1, armor in earth is 1. You would have 1 left.
No, armor in earth is 2, isn't it?
It literally says 1 action.
Oh, it's
there,
1.
doesn't it?
I was wrong. then yeah, no, you're right. I'm wrong. That is 45 foot away, so he can't quite make that.
And it's difficult terrain, so as soon as he steps inside, like here, it will start to be 10 feet per move, unless he has something. So he can probably make it to that rock, and then starts to be difficult terrain from there.
Yep, I think that's probably where he's going to go to, so he can be within reach to blast him next.
All right, sounds good. And then we have Thurball.
Skewer.
Oh, this is disgusting.
So probably first would be to draw a bow. And then he, I believe, is within 60. Yep. So he's probably just going to loose some arrows and be like,
I'll shoot this thing. I do not want to get that close. Do not like to fight these things. I would rather stay at a distance. You know what I mean?
miss.
Damn.
Yep. That's what happens when you get a bad roll. So he'll lose one more. Hope to roll better than that, but you know. Nope.
Nope.
Do not
We can't
know
roll.
if I can shoot them in the water. Can you bring them on land?
Possibly.
I do not want to get
Let's
my
find out.
fur wet.
All right,
Yep,
so
20 sided dice
Quagmire
are
now
killers.
is going to take its action, and the Quagmire will pull each creature toward the center of the Quagmire, which we're going to say is the center of the river, okay?
Yep.
So we know it's there somewhere. So towards that, and it's going down as well. So we're gonna go. Well, it'll tell us anyway. A creature in the Quagmire can attempt athletics checks to
There you go.
to get out. But both Peter and Skewer are now up to their knees in the Quagmire. So it's going to go knees, waist, chest, neck, or something like that. Knees, waist,
Yep.
neck, something there. It's probably a good measure. All right, and that's done. There's no damage from that. It's just literally pulling us down and making it harder, which means we have to take actions to move. An action to escape effectively or move through it. Not just move. We can't just move. All right, and with that, we go to these gorged leeches, who are now gonna both become visible. And are you happy to take control of them? Do you want me to take control of one? How do you want to do it?
Sorry, I wasn't trying to ignore you. I just felt like I was going to sneeze again. And I didn't want to, sneeze right into your eardrums. Either way.
Well, why don't you take the one to the south, the one whose turn it is, and I'll take the one to the north.
No, Dime isn't. He wishes he was. He was dealing with sneezing and didn't want to blow everyone's eardrums because he's not that mean.
So it'll be your one's turn now. Its prepared action didn't go off because someone didn't come within range. So where is it going?
Closest would be straight up.
Yep.
By 5 foot.
Yep. Do it. It's a mindless. Well, let's see. It is mindless. Effectively, it's -5 intelligence. So yeah, closest enemy, closest food.
Feel bad though, because I don't want Skewer to die.
It is what it is, man. We have healing, so.
Yep, that's absolutely what we're gonna need to do.
So you target Skewer.
Don't get
All right,
Skewer.
so what happens is that the protector tree will interpose its branches and take 9 hit points of damage.
And that takes
And
9
Skewer
off
takes
what you take.
none.
Oh, it takes none. Nice. So the tree moves back and the leech is like trying to hold on to it.
Completely
failed.
interposed itself.
That is really good. I didn't realize it's complete.
Yeah, so
Ow.
says it's got 10
No,
hit
I
points
hear
whenever
you. I just...
the tree interposes its branches and takes the damage first. Any additional damage beyond what it takes to reduce the tree to 0 is dealt to the original target. But because the tree has 10 hit points, it didn't go over the tree's hit points, which means the tree takes it all.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
This is why I took the spell. Because effectively it's healing, but in reverse.
Yep. You just prevent taking the damage.
Right? And so the Alchemy Gorge Leech has moved and it has made a single attack.
It actually
Anything
tried to
else?
do the grapple, but it failed because it was on the tree.
Ah, there you
well.
go. All right, then I will
Because
take
that takes
control
an
of
action to do the grab.
the other one and target Skewer with the other one. We will try to strike. Roll. That will not hit Skewer. And so it will try a second time. And yes, we want to spend our last action trying to grapple. And what's going to happen is that we're going to do some damage. And one of that damage gets done to the tree, which gets taken off. But I'm just going to set it to 0 at this stage and set it as invisible so that we can pick it up and take it. And I'm going to take 5 hit points off Skewer. And he is grabbed. Grabbed. Sweet. That's both of their turns, and it's Skewer's turn. It's not doing so hot. It's like, this hurts! He is going to spend his first action trying to escape because he does not want to be grabbed by a giant leech. So we're going to go into here and we're going to do athletics to try and escape.
Get it. No. I don't think 13 does it.
let's have a look. I think that is not going to suffice.
What's the DC against? I remember grab, and after the night I've had, and my brain's not working as well. I am sorry.
No, you're okay. So, how this works. Okay. Escape. Attempt to escape from being grabbed. DC of the athletics of the creature,
The athletics DC? Okay.
which is 6, so it'll be 16 that we're versing, and we got only 13 because we rolled stupid low.
Yep.
So I'm thinking,
Tries to shove it off him and it doesn't quite work.
yeah, he's
Get
like,
off
oh,
me."
this thing's holding on. He will try to hit it now. Like, maybe if I hit it, it will get off. So he's going to try. That's pretty good. Damage. Roll. Does 6 damage to it. So that one, damage. That's his second action. He's got one final action. He can't move because he's grabbed. And he would have done Snagging Strike too. Which means that that creature is off guard. So he's done Snagging Strike as this. I'll have to remember that for the future, but for now, it is what it is. So it's an action. You have a hand free, your target is within reach. You combine an attack with a quick grappling move that throws an enemy off balance. You make a strike, which is what I've done. If I hit, your target is off guard until the start of Skewer's next turn, or until it's no longer within reach of his hand. So that's a single action there. He is then going to try with his final action to pass a flat DC to see if he can apply battle medicine to himself. But he has to pass a flat D20 check because that is a manipulate action.
Come on, Skewer.
He does.
There you go.
And then he has to make the medicine check as well. Nope. Okay. So, he cannot apply battle medicine to himself. He's too distracted. Marigold is going to have her turn. With Protector Tree down, she is going to... Let me try and hurt these things. As the tree next to Skewer decomposes, she is going to cast Timber. The skin here is the tree falling over that she created.
I like it. I like it. That's awesome.
And the can you do this for me? Can you have the one to the north there make me that reflex save for me?
Yep, I just did. I just wanted to make sure I knew which one you wanted me to have do it first. Save reflex.
Oh yeah! So can you roll critical damage there? That's 4d4s, sir.
Why don't you roll it since it was yours? You can enjoy getting to roll the damage for Marigold.
Okay, so we're gonna roll.
So her protector tree
And-
dies and just falls over and hits this
So
thing.
we're gonna do this twice, basically.
We can just do double damage on it. If you want,
Oh,
or do you
well,
want to roll twice?
Oops,
Oh, no.
I'll do that.
Do you want me to just
Roll.
do double damage, or you want to roll twice?
Technically, we have to do it this way, and that's better anyway.
Yeah.
So it's
is
going to
better.
take 11 damage from the tree falling over onto it. That's amazing. And keep in mind that it would have even been better if the situation had been better, because that's not a single target spell. That is a multiple target spell. So all
That's
targets
15 foot.
in the line would take it, but in this case, because Skewer
Yep.
is in the line, she doesn't want to do that, and so
Exactly.
she just does it against that one.
Because why kill your
that's
friend?
amazing, right? Doesn't make any sense to do that. And so she has not moved. She's cast that one spell. She is going to command her familiar with her second action. 2, 3, 4, 5. Who can just fly. Doesn't have to. Actually, I'll get
Doesn't
it to
get
fly
sucked in.
here and then hover, because otherwise it'll fall.
Why would it fall?
Because fly requires you to hover. Oh no, you can just
Okay.
fly as long as you have flown once. Yeah, okay.
I was gonna say. I thought that's how it was supposed to work, but I mean,
Yeah, I think you can, yeah. Alright, so it can be. We will do. I'm gonna aid Peter.
okay.
Okay, so it prepares to aid Peter. You have a bird helping you.
Excellent.
Hey, Crowfang. So if you do an action while adjacent to the bird, it will be able to assist you with it. If you move
I
away,
will be.
unfortunately, it won't be able to.
They're within range for what's coming. So, that being said, Peter wants to deal with the one that's currently gripping his friend first. He's like, "Get off my friend!" And launches his fist forward, and a bunch of shards go flying off. Let's see. Do we want metal, piercing, slashing? Or do we want earth, bludgeoning? Or piercing? So he can do bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage, whatever the case needed. I think in this case, or
What
bludgeoning,
do you
yeah,
want?
piercing or slashing. I think slashing makes sense. He's just gonna lob it off. Have like a metal blade go. Shing. Give me a second. Brain.
So it's impulse attack, melee unranged impulse attack against the AC.
Jeez. I was just getting it put where I can do it. So he is going to punch it. And please. Oh,
That was for my aid.
okay. Did aid do anything? Or you have to
No.
get... Okay. I was like, you have to get 15 or 17, isn't it?
15, yeah.
I don't remember. 15, okay.
But you hit anyway.
Yep. Which is important. I don't see it saying the type of damage, but whatever. Oh.
6.
Oh, it says piercing, but I was going slashing. It don't matter.
Boom.
6 damage. Hey, Skewer, you know what? You're not grappled anymore, friend.
I am certainly not grappled anymore.
So as Skewer's, dealing with this thing, this metal blade comes flying out of the air out of nowhere and just chops the whole back end off. So the mouth of the leech is just sitting there like loosely limp, sitting on him. And he just like flicks it off.
Oh, thank you, friend.
No one hurts my friends. It is not okay. Point at the other one and have rocks drop on its head. Yes. Still, I mean, it's not bad damage, just not as much.
So I'm before we go through.
Yep.
Did you take your multiple attack penalty?
I did.
You did?
I think so.
Then yes, that happens.
I was pretty sure I clicked the right thing.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you did it, we're all good. Excellent. Very, very, very good.
I didn't, but I thought I clicked the right thing.
12. No, that's correct. You did. That's fine.
Okay. I'm a little dazed, so if I do something off, forgive me.
All right. Very, very good.
Final action. Oh, that's 2. I'll do that one later.
Is it the rock that like explodes and catapults into this thing? Is that the skin of this bludgeoning damage? Sweet.
Yeah, a rock lands on him. And then why not? We'll go ahead and go back to the blades and just didn't really have much else he can do, so we'll just try. Probably gonna miss, but you never know. Yeah.
Yeah, very difficult for that to work.
Yeah, I don't have really any other options. I mean, don't I have to be adjacent to aid and stuff?
So what? Yeah. Given that you have difficult terrain, you could have potentially attempted to leap so that you might have been able to get to be flanking. That's probably the other, like, moving is potentially a thing. But either way, third ball.
Should have done that. I am very much willing to take your advice on things since I'm fully alert tonight. Hey.
That's good.
Gonna have him take that damage.
Sure. Thunk. Oh,
Hey.
and again.
Just barely.
thunk.
And then he's going to try to hide behind Peter being there. You think that should be allowed, or does he have to be right up next to him?
He can move there. He can't hide.
Okay. He'll move up behind Peter. And then
Awesome.
he'll try to hide next to her. Should have done hiding, but it's
Quagmire.
alright.
So the Quagmire is going to sink Skewer even further. He's going to be up to his waist now. And Peter also, because Peter hasn't moved. So both of them are going to be up to their waist. And that is that. So we go to the last leech, who has taken a bunch of damage. You do see a bleeding target. I'll put inverted commas because he's not technically got persistent damage, but he's currently on less than healthy life.
Well, that's why I didn't have Peter do something else, because he's wanting to get his friend out of there, not just take care of himself.
So do you want to take care of that leech for us and do something for it, with it? Probably...
Kind of shakes its head as it had rock fall on it, and then tries to leap at Skewer again, I think.
Yep.
Since they're mindless beasts. So
It hungry. Oh boy. Yep,
critical.
that'll be critical damage.
And then it failed to latch on, though.
Alright, well, do the crit. Please. We love that for us. Alright, so we go bloop. Well, he ain't dead. We know that. Just says dead. He is dying 2, because that's a critical hit.
No.
Not the best. All right, and I think is that its turn? I think so.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fun. Well, Skewer. I could spend a hero point to be stable. How do you want to roll? Because I think that this is more a you question than me. Do you want to do Pathfinder's normal hero point stabilization rolls, or do you want to do what we've been doing in my home game, where we set hero point sets us at 1?
I'm good with that.
Alright, so I'm going to spend my hero point. We are going to remove the dying condition, but give him wounded 1. He is able to act on 1 hit point. As a surge of energy comes back, he is grabbed. And he is... he's not in a good position either way. He will try to escape. Oh, yeah. So he is no longer grabbed by the creature. He is going to swim. Yes! Stonkin.
Yep.
He's
Because it was
doing it.
DC 17, so you got up 2 levels. You're back up.
I am, which means I can move, and I'm going to. It's gonna be moving.
Attack of opportunity.
other
Oh wait, we're not
side.
playing that other version.
Yeah, no attacks of opportunity. And he's got plenty of movement because he's an elf. So he's gonna move all the way over there. Nearly getting across, even with difficult terrain.
Yep, it's awesome.
Marigold. With only one of them left. She is going to have. Let's see. The wind winding up. Actually, she's going to command Visa to come here and aid. Yeah, aid this because this is an attack. And so she's going to target that one. Oh yeah, she does not need the help. Oh, if Visa succeeds, that'll be a critical hit. Let's see. So Visa just needs a 15. It's really hard to get because it doesn't have the feature. Oh! All right. That is unbelievable. I think the patron is watching at this point with this.
Oh yeah.
That's unbelievable. All right, so damage, which is doubled. So it's going to be the same thing that I did last time with it. Oh, that's 10 points to it.
Wow.
Is that going to do it? What's it on? Yes! Number for number, 10 hit points will remove said Alchemy Giant Leech. As
awesome.
I think this wind is going to look insane, man. So the Raven caws at exactly the right minute, and as the Raven caws, this flower comes out of its beak, gets borne upon the wind, and just opens in a flourish of beauty as it sort of sweeps across, and it sort of sweeps right into the creature, and it covers its mouth as wind catapults it, and just it gets swallowed, and then you see the creature going boop, 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 splat.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Wow. Oh, there's one.
Right.
That 1 point changed everything. Cool. So, with all of that said and done, we just have a quagmire to deal with. And so we are technically still in initiative. We just have to get to the other side. So it'll just be a matter of time. We're not really in danger unless we start to drown, and Skewer's nearly on the other side. So as soon as he's on the other side, I think we can safely say that with ropes and stuff that we can help each other through. But let's keep going with it and until he is definitely on the other side. So Peter is struggling against the weight of the water here, with the mud here. doesn't seem to be able to swim his way out right now. He could try again. He has 3 actions. So each one is going to sap his energy and be harder than the last.
Yep.
But given that you rolled so low, I mean, I don't think it's worth 3 tries, but I do think it may be worth 2.
Yep. We'll try it.
Oh, yeah. He will actually swim up to the surface and be free.
So what is the jump rules? I haven't done that. It's athletics check, right?
Yeah, and at this point, let's see, I think it's just move. It's just a leap.
Just
Take
a
a
leap?
short, horizontal, vertical leap. It's a move. You just need a... So, without checks, you can go 10 feet horizontally, or if your speed is at least 15 feet, 15 feet horizontally. So he can go 15 feet without a check, or he can make a check, which has no penalty at the moment because it doesn't have the attack trait, to potentially go further.
Okay. And what's the check? I'm
So
like looking at it. I
jumping
don't see what the check is.
athletics. Well, it'll just be the DC. It'll just be the Quagmire. We'll just set it at the Quagmire DC of 17.
Okay. Please.
Oh yeah.
Hey.
So
So that means he
Horizons
leaps.
are at least 15 feet or up to 15 feet horizontally, jumping a greater distance. So we're gonna take him.
So he's just trying to leap as far as he can across this muck.
Yeah, I think he can
I wish
make
I
it.
had the. I wish I had the extra actions. I would have grabbed Marigold and Thurbold.
So Peter leaps across to the other rock, and he's on stable ground, but he still has to make his way to the trees if he wants to help people. Although he could act as an anchor himself, but it is dangerous. Thurbold?
Thurbold sees stones and decides maybe it'd be good to do acrobatics and, do the somersaults in the air and stuff to kind of go across the water, you know what I mean?
So what do you think? If he passes 17 acrobatics, he can kind of jump from stone to stone, or not?
What's that? Taking damage? No.
Hmm?
He doesn't take damage.
No. I said if he passes an acrobatics check, do you think
Yeah,
it makes
he
sense
can
that he can
jump.
like jump the
He can jump
stones?
to there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. So he's just going to be like jumping across the stones.
I do not want to touch the water. I'm going to step on the stones and jump off. What
I mean, technically, jumping is athletics, but we can say whatever we want, right? It's up to you.
Actually, let's do this. He runs to here and springs off this rock over to here.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
So that's basically
Yeah.
just
Grabs an edge and pulls him up,
yeah.
himself up. Yeah, it makes sense. All right. Sounds good. With that, the Quagmire will pull down Skewer, who's the only one in the water currently. So he's just down to his knees, which he doesn't need anything to get himself out because it's just his knees. So he can move to here and then tie himself off. and then help the others. So I think with multiples of us safe and with the ability to throw ropes and secure ropes, I think that gets us through this particular situation.
Yeah, what I was thinking is what Peter would do is actually jump back over, get Marigold, and go the stone route, jumping. But yeah,
Sounds fair.
we can either take an extra, 6 rolls or more, just trying to make it happen, or we can just call it there since it's 90% complete.
I think it makes sense. All right, and
I'm with you.
then on the other side, we're going to make some medicine checks to try and help Skewer out here because he is not looking particularly healthy right now. He's the only one that took damage though,
Yeah,
so not too bad.
set into that, Peter's rocks will die down and his rumble off him.
And
Realistically, I don't think he'd be walking around with the armor on all the time.
we're just not rolling very well.
No.
Does anyone of yours have
Turbold.
medicine?
And I was about to have him do likewise. But he's not as good as Marigold. But apparently
Oh.
he can still do it if he rolls a 19. So there we go.
He certainly can. So that's 2d8. You get to roll. Marigold is maybe distracted by the fact that her patron just
Hey.
interceded. All right.
Woot woot.
Wonderful.
Yes.
All right. Well, this was cool. In harvesting the giant leeches, do we want to make some checks to see how much we understand about whatever was alchemically gorging them? Or
We
can we
could.
figure that out? We certainly
don't know
know that
that
they are
that's
way
something-
bigger than they should be.
Yeah, I
So
don't
we
know if
have
that's
reason
something
to
Peter
question.
would do or be capable of doing. Thurbold might, but wouldn't touch them unless requested.
Well, I can tell you, dearie, that something seems to be affecting them, but I'm not entirely sure what it is. They are certainly larger than they should be, though.
Peter will offer to try to help, just being
Oh.
who he is. Oh, wow.
Apparently he knows. So you tell us, DM, given that you've got the success here, what has alchemically affected these leeches? It can be tied to our already story, or it could be a hint at something that we might discover elsewise.
So, what exactly does alchemical gorged mean to you? Like,
Well, they've
give
eaten
me some
something.
narrative of what you think that is. Yeah, eaten something.
Yeah, they've eaten
I
something.
mean, you could always say
and
they had the potion of enlarge, but that's kind of been done.
Let's tune in on a different day of the week for more of that
Right,
shenanigans.
So I don't know that we want to go that route. That's why I was like, narratively, like, what would you see? Is it just that they overate it? Did it just tasted really good?
I think
And then I can run with it from there.
let's see.
Does it just mean they ate
Alchemically.
a lot?
Well, what I'm thinking is let's make it not a man-made substance, or perhaps it's not a man-made substance perhaps it's an outcome pollution from a man-made substance. So
I have a fun idea.
Yeah.
It'll play into some of the other things we have.
Okay.
It's not man-made, but it's not natural either.
Okay.
He's like,
I do not know exactly what this is from, but it seems they have been affected by something that is enhancing their girth and health in life, making them more than the standard thing. There must be some magic somewhere upstream that has tainted them, or maybe they came from something there. But I do think we may need to look into this at another time. Maybe when we have completed our current tasks.
Indeed. All right, that sounds mysterious and interesting.
for your notes, sir, since you're being kind helping me with notes, since I have all this chaos going on, and I appreciate your help with that so much, and I'm sorry about the chaos today. What I'm thinking is, based on the fact that we already have a powerful being, possibly Fae, but a powerful being nonetheless, right? I'm thinking there is a natural glade up there that is in the mountains where it's frosted, but it's a sanctuary. And there is another being there. What type is unknown, but that has their essence basically has seeped into the water some, and these just happen to absorb that and gives them more life. Basically, a lot of creatures are magical creatures, right?
Yeah.
So they became magical creatures because of this magical taint in the water. This far downstream, it's diluted enough, but up closer to the source, it changed them.
All right. That sounds
That adds fun story and narrative and a point to investigate either with these characters or others later on, right?
Right, and it's not, it's related, but it's not part of
Exactly.
the other stuff.
And I
which
kind of
is
wanted
good.
to
We like
do that. Exactly. It gives us more threads.
Okay, so with that,
See, this is why I like working with you. Thank you.
yeah, it's wonderful. So with that, we, I think, are going to take a short break, as it is about that time, and continue our journey north in about 5-10 minutes. So for those that are watching, make sure you grab a drink, bite to eat, everything that you need. Give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself a nice stretch, all of those sorts of things. And we will be back with the second half of this session very soon.
See you soon.
Hope you enjoyed your little break and got some well-needed and deserved food, drink, rest, stretch, all those things. I'm gonna be consuming my food as we play and such, but it is what it is. We have just come across the river and are traveling north.
Yes.
And given that we're right on the edge of the forest, we can have our lunch here. And we know that to get through the forest, typically can, depending on how much stuff you have to carry and things like that, can take, I reckon, somewhere between anything, maybe 2.5 to 5 hours, depending, something like that.
Makes sense.
And so, Skewer will have his pike in hand as we approach the forest. We know that this particular forest is not hugely dangerous. It's not something that people talk about and have scary stories about, but occasionally...
It's not where Skewer's from.
Yeah, right. Occasionally things can happen, and so he is being alert, and as are the rest of the party as we travel through the forest. Do you have anything interesting that you would like to have happen to us while we're in the forest? Does anyone in the chat have anything interesting that they would like to have happen to us while we are traversing through the forest?
We need to think of some good redeems for this. For people to use. Like, we can have add a story point or something like that, where they can add a narrative beat to what's currently happening, like alter the scene. That's probably a better name for it.
Alter the
I
scene.
think it'd be fun to come up with some redeems that we can get chat involved with the story directly. So if chat, and Matt, you as well, if you guys can think of some fun redeems for us to consider, please shoot them over to us, Discord or Twitch PM. Just message us and let us know some fun redeem ideas, because we want to give you guys some more fun interactions with the game and the setting.
I kind of like the idea, just as you're talking about that, something like this or this. Make it better or make it worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, so that they can be like, well, we're going to contribute in a positive way, or are we going to, like, well, it's both of them are positive, but one of them helps the party and one of them hinders it.
Yeah.
It's both
So
positive because narrative is the winner in the end.
Right.
A better
Things
story.
take a turn for the better. Things take a turn for the worse. The scene is altered. I think it should be another one where they can, like you said, right, add in. There's a gnome in the forest. You know, whatever it is.
Something like, look, what's that?
Yeah.
And then they can name, like, they can be like forest creature, or they can be like something like that, or yeah, could be good.
But yeah, think about it, and chat, think about it. We didn't do it yet because we're and so we held off for a little bit, but we're getting there. I think it'd be good to get some stuff like that. So, by the way, Matt, quick level setting with you on this. Do you like the tiles and being able to just slap the stuff down for quick mats? Because is that working out for you? Do you think we need to look at changing stuff up? How you feeling?
No, I don't think it takes very long. Like, it might have taken me, what, a minute or two to set that up. something like
Yeah.
that. I think it's fine.
Okay.
I think
There's
if
some-
we were gonna do something like, I think we should prepare things that are central to the bigger plot. So these random things, I think, are fine to have like this. But for example, setting up what the village that we're going to is experiencing, or where people are, or something like that. That's like a central story thing. I think should have a map that we've either found on the internet or made beforehand or whatever.
I'm going to be working on
to
some
represent
of that, too,
those are more significant things, like if these frost cultists have a base, I think that shouldn't be generated
No.
by us on the fly. I think that should be found and populated between sessions.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't disagree. That's kind of what I was thinking. I haven't gotten to those yet based on Chaos of Life. Yes, that is the plan, is for big sets like that to actually have a set.
Well, I've got
But for the
pretty
traveling,
decent repositories of maps. Like, I'm not in hundreds or thousands, but I got a fairly decent section, and we can always go and find more. So
yeah. I thought about adding in Kingmaker, since I have that, so we have some more.
strongly recommend against it.
Okay. But yeah, if you want to add yours, we can do that. We can add some other ones. I definitely want to get that where we have those set areas better. I was looking at trying to get some bigger things built, and there's some other tools I want to get figured out and used on here to help make things better as well. But time has not been my friend. Neither has sleep, and I was thinking about doing it today instead of what I did stream, but without having a clear mind and the other things I had to work on today, I was not in a good mind space to be capable of doing that. But I am planning what you're talking about.
Sounds good.
So,
All right. So do we think, like, a good amount has happened to our characters in a fairly short amount of time? I think that's probably enough for the characters for a little bit, because otherwise it's going to feel to them like, oh my gosh, like things are totally cray
so
out here.
last night we got attacked, then we had weather issues, then we got snitched by magic leeches in the pool. It's not even 24 hours been accosted this many times.
Yeah, I think that this is probably enough. So let's say that our journey through the forest, apart from seeing... Actually, how about we do this? How about we make some hunting checks? Because there are some little hunting wildlife that we can go and hunt to help us with our food for the night. And maybe make like a survival check each, or some sort of like gathering things check that's
Survival
not dangerous.
is common.
We are just gathering things through this forest. Yeah, I think survival makes sense. So, survival for skewer, and I think I will roll nature for Marigold. Okay. Sweet. Like, there's some good stuff there. So we gather some things.
Thurbold and Peter apparently don't.
Perhaps they are assigned to watch duty, keeping us safe while the others are gathering. I imagine that Thurbold's like, I'm not going in there.
Nope, Thurbold's paying attention either. Peter's probably working on, hauling the stuff, keeping the gear, things like that makes sense.
Ebal's just flicking his coin as he's walking, just like chink, heads,
And then shuffling cards.
heads,
And,
chink, tails, chink, finding the odds.
I wonder if I shave a little bit off, can I alter the odds in my favor?
Yeah.
Maybe that should be done.
We all know he's a very legit individual.
Herbold always knows how to get what is needed, you know? It's always good.
So we emerge from the
very
forest like three and a half hours later, having gathered some things and have an area of grassland between here and the forest where our middle village, we're going to call it, is situated. And so we can see the path, but
It's just Minor Village 1.
Minor Village 1. Yeah, and we have the river on our left. We're in no risk of getting lost. And we know that it's probably going to take us to close to dusk to get to even just the border of the forest that is going to be where the village is. But we definitely will not make it to the village by nightfall. We definitely are not going to make it through the forest by nightfall. In fact, we will hit the forest or get to the forest around nightfall. So we probably don't want to go in there.
Right.
And so we need to locate a good place to camp, I guess.
I believe that's a survival.
I believe so.
I think that's what Pathfinder said you use for that.
Yeah, I think so. So we're gonna see what we can do as far as that goes. Depending how this goes, will depend how well we are protected from the elements and from potential roaming dangers. As makes sense, Marigold is not really good at finding shelter when it is not in her settlement, because that's where she spent all of her life. Delivering children, not out in the elements.
There you go. We're moving up to the forest.
Excellent.
I do like how we can just slap them down and keep the scene going.
Oof. Well, we might be getting some narrative moments here. Skewer's the best at 17, which technically at this level is a success, just barely.
Yep. I have a narrative suggestion.
All right.
We have to roll an athletics check for Thurbold Skewer, as Peter's not able to help them gather firewood because he is using his base kinesis to shape stone to give them an area to camp. So it's a
because
success,
we just weren't really
but because
able to.
Exactly. There's no good area to pitch the tent because there's too much debris and everything. But he's able to find a stone surface, but he can't do anything with stone. And so they need to do athletics or fort save, something to indicate their collection of other, the wood for the fire and whatnot. Thurbold's not making very good progress, so yeah. Narratively, what does that mean, do you think? Does that mean we don't have enough wood for the night? We're gonna have to ration it more, so it's gonna be colder.
I don't think it makes sense that there's not enough wood, because we're right on
Dry
the edge
wood.
of a forest.
Burnable wood. Able to be collected before nightfall.
What about this? Yeah, what about this? What do you think of that? There's been some steady but condensation, not exactly rain throughout today, but like just that
Misting.
hazy
Drizzle.
mist,
Yeah.
and the wood is all green, and we gather it and we set it up, but it's smoky for the whole night.
Fort save to rest well.
Yeah, and we do have a plus to that because of our meal from the previous day, so
Yep.
that's a great opportunity to do that. So yes, fort saves.
And make sure you add the +1. I don't think it adds it.
No, it doesn't add
Oh,
it.
it does if you
So-
click. If you click on the thing, you can just toggle it on, and it gives you the +1. Party meal
Sweet.
critical success. You can click that, and it will add it. What a
Ew.
surprise! Peter doesn't have a problem.
Fortitude.
This is just smoke. It's normal what you have in Forge. You know, it's okay. It's no problem.
Marigold
to have it.
fends it off expertly.
Hey.
Skewer is having a hard time.
I think Skewer doesn't sleep as well, probably from it.
We're gonna make him fatigued. But first,
already
before we make him
is.
fatigued, yeah, let's have a rest. Let's
Yeah.
make sure that we're fully refreshed.
Everyone gets
So
a rest for the night.
Rest for the night. And then we're gonna, at the
When
end
we're
of the
at
day,
camp, do we want to treat
gonna-
wounds on
yeah,
Skewer?
yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yep. So we're gonna get him a little bit more health. Oh, 248. Yeah, that'll work.
What?
Roll. I mistyped. 2d8, not 248. Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Hey,
Six.
Thurbold succeeded. Hey.
So heal. Yeah, he is fine. But he is not wounded anymore. We don't have our hearty meal anymore.
Did Marigold want to try to make one for tonight?
Yeah, I will. Let's do that before we take anything away, I suppose.
Well, she might
I
want to do a
suppose
different meal.
I don't really have. We can look at that another time. I haven't had time to look at all of the things. So we'll just do standard. That is not even enough. We do not get the effect. So the smoke just gets into the meal,
Yep.
and it's just barely like edible. We eat it, it fills us up, but that's about it.
Yep.
Brilliant. And Skewer is going to have fatigued, and everyone else is going to be all right. He's not having an especially great trip here.
No, he's not. The poor guy gets taken out by leeches, gets hammered by all the things, gets.
So,
He's going to retire from adventuring after this.
I was an adventurer once. Then I took a leech to the chest.
We get through the forest without event, but there is steady drizzle and haze all day, making the wood we gather green and damp. This fills the camp with smoke, ruins our meal, and tires skewer out. Yep, so next day. Nothing untoward happens. We each have our watches. Do you want to narrate anything unusual that's not an encounter or anything that happens during the night, or is it mostly just peaceful?
Let's find out. Nope, it's peaceful. When in doubt, I let the dice do the talking. It's almost like this is a role-playing game where you roll the dice.
Yep, so it's a peaceful night. We wake up the next day, and we have a forest ahead of us. We know that this
Skewer.
forest is significantly bigger than the previous one. It'll take most of the day to get through it, to get to that little village. And it looks like the path has been overgrown some. Whoa, what is this?
Oh, me just rolling. Okay. Uneventful day, apparently. Unless you want something to happen.
No. We can have an uneventful day in the forest.
I'll be implementing a roll table later on for us to be able to have this. I found some fun rules I like that I've been using for my other home game. I just haven't had the time to put it in here yet.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll trek through the forest on the way to... And given that we're now at that point, let's look at a name generator for a town.
Yes, let me have here. Where was the one I had? Ocean. Ooh, out. That's too bright.
Falkirk. Wintervale,
I'm going to
no.
use the other one because that's hurting my eyes.
Tenby, Meyerfield, Bulmer, Davenport, no. Larton. What do you think, it's not in here, but what do you think about naming it Riverwatch, since we're on a river? Or close by, sort of. Or maybe...
Sure. It's fine.
I guess it's not that close.
Or generate a name of a person.
Name it after the person?
Yeah, because then that gives us something, another lead to look at. Like, who was this person that it's named after? Why was it named after them? Why did they set up here? I
Alright.
like the idea of watch. Right, because it's a watch post kind of thing, right? Hamlet. But what's a good, like, hero or setup name like that?
What's up?
Oh, I'm just generating names and bemused by them. I like the idea that maybe this isn't like an elven name.
Yeah, something more exotic. Like, who was this person?
Huh. All right. I have my first pitch here. There's a name that's very much like another name that could hint at something that we might explore at.
Oh,
And it's spelled like this. It's Elduin.
sure.
And there might be some potential story hooks with that name.
Do it that way to make it more.
Yeah, okay. Elduin's Watch.
Just to a little bit more obfuscation from the. I mean,
Alright, I like it. To Elduin's Watch. Alright. Sweet. Yeah, so this is an elf. We know it's an elven hero. Beyond that, we don't know much. At this
good.
stage. Cool. So yes, we make our way to
yours,
Elduin's
Grandpa.
Watch. No. No relation. Third cousin on my grandma's side.
Does Skewer even know the name?
I don't think so.
Okay.
He spent most of his life in, well, his adult life in the military.
Yeah. So, we come out of the
All right,
forest.
so we make it to
probably
Elduin's
at
Watch.
nightfall. We get to Elduin's
Yes.
Watch. Yeah. Hey, Viking Silverwolf, how's it going?
Hey, Silver.
So we come out. What does this village look like that has elven influence?
Well, it's on the edge of a forest, right? Why don't we just do the archetypical thing and have a big old tree that has like multiple levels on it?
Do we want to do
Or
that, or do you want
maybe-
to do it differently because you also said that it had the mining to it?
Yeah. Well, what about we make this edge of the forest be a totally different type of forest? Let's imagine this be a very fungal edge to this forest, kind of almost Morrowindish, where the trees are not trees, they are mushrooms. And that they lead into they come out of the hills, like, and the elves have basically harvested them once upon a time and then tended to them and grown them and magically altered them until they were big enough to, or something like this. Maybe it's just naturally occurring. I'm not sure, but I like the idea that it's not just a normal forest. And we've got like underground plants that sort of flow out into the area. Other ideas are open, like this was my first idea.
Ooh. Now, you know how fungus works, or Like, real talk, right? IRL. Like, do you know how fungus works?
I mean, not particularly.
It grows off of decomposing other things. It breaks other life matter down.
Okay.
What
So
if
maybe there's a battlefield?
the reason it's called Elduin's Watch is Elduin fought a large creature here. And upon its death, the magical creature provided essence. And there is a fungal type that sprouts underground where the body decomposed. But they now grow up and have... it's all connected as one big fungal node.
Okay.
And so the whole area is a hub of one plant, technically. And so if it starts suffering, the whole area just like starts suffering, right? So they take care to not agitate the cycle because it provides shelter and protection.
I like it. I like it. And it gives flavor to this forest. That's not just like, it's not just another forest. There's this whole section. Yeah, there are normal trees to the south where we've come through. But then after a certain amount of time, it's changed due to this ancient battlefield between Alduin and whatever this creature was that has bled essence into the ground and caused a fungal forest to grow.
I like the idea that the fungus tried to naturally grow, right? Because it was decomposing whatever this creature was he slew. But because it was a mythical creature, magical creature, it changed the plants as they grew, and it grew up from there as what it is now.
Okay.
So it's a partially natural, partially magically mutated, partially then like druid groomed area. Because it makes it interesting that it was a mistake that then was worked on to enhance for the betterment of people. And that's going to lead into later when we add the other aspect I mentioned. This area is then... What is that going to do when someone comes in with something else? Right? Like this whole town is going to be very much stay out of here with that.
Yeah, like...
Please move on. You can stay here tonight, but you're gone tomorrow. I don't care.
Yeah, maybe that's why they're not involved in the council, like they're a little bit insular.
You know what I'm referring to, right? The kind of like the other thing I said later on. Yeah. I like that because it's gonna give a valid reason why they're that way instead of just, oh well, it's not our style. No. It's a valid reason. It is their way of life. It is their very existence that gets threatened if they allow it. Because its very existence of these fungal growths that defend them is magical in nature. So you bring someone in that has the other, it's going to make the magic wane, which is literally going to weaken your home. Maybe your house then starts having a leaky roof now because you let someone with that stay in your home, right? Mm-hmm. It's going to make you really think about if you're going to be that nice to someone or not.
Right.
I like that.
Sounds good to me. So this is where they stay tonight.
Yep.
People are like, make sure you pay proper money at the inn, and please stay indoors. And when morning comes, please make your way as soon as possible.
Oh, well, we issue that I was mentioning, right? Because we haven't really introduced that dichotomy yet.
Mm-hmm.
So they would be fine. The town would be fine with us right now because we don't have any of the magic weakening with us.
Okay.
So I think they would be okay with us right now. But I'm saying, like, for future reference, that could be an issue.
Okay.
Because, I mean, Marigold's kind of the opposite. She enhances the magical essence. So they're like, hey, you're great. Hey, Angel, how's it going?
All right. Sounds good. So they welcome us. And we rest the night in the inn.
Sounds good.
And
Do they have an
make it to
inn,
the
or do
next
they
day.
just do the hospitality thing of you stay with people's homes? I almost
What do
think
you
the
think?
hospitality thing sounds better, that there's not an actual inn. Because it makes
very
it
unusual
smaller
community.
hamlet. Yeah. They're not used to travelers. So they'll be hospitable. But they don't actually have, like, an inn and these larger village functions.
Well, maybe they
like that.
have like not an amphitheater, but like an open space where stuff like that can happen, where performances
Yeah.
or theatrics or entertainment can happen, but it's not really enclosed. I like that
Yeah.
idea.
Perfect. See, man,
All
I
right.
love doing this with you because you help. We just bounce ideas back and make them better.
Cool. So we are 3 hours in. We don't want to go too crazy with our last
Nope.
hour. And we've already said that our characters have experienced a lot. Maybe they stay here a little while. Maybe they head off straight away. Maybe there's word tell of maybe there's someone here from the other village. Who knows? Like, what do we think can happen here that
Sorry, the dog just made a loud noise, which means he may have woken up one or more
Yeah.
kids. And I'm just makes my stomach sick.
yeah. Okay, so maybe what do we think about the idea that we heighten the stakes here? And how we might
Sure.
do that is that this town received a call for help from Sylvester not so long ago. And they sent a small group of people who have not returned.
They sent hunters, because hunters would be the most warrior-like. And they need their hunters back, or they're going to be in trouble too. So that
I
ups
like
the
that they
issue
can get
for our team.
involved. Yeah.
Now,
So,
the person from Soveza, this is for chat. The person from Soveza, did they come injured or did they return with the hunters? And if they came injured, did they survive or did they die?
Ooh. There you go, chat. Here's a chance to contribute to the growing story here. So our situation is we've made it to Elderwin's Watch, and they have us. They take care of us overnight, and we discover that a short time ago they received word that Sylvester was in trouble, and they gathered some hunters and sent them off, and those hunters have not returned. Did the messenger from Sylvester survive? Were they injured? Are they still here? Did they die? Did they return with the other hunters? And are therefore missing.
Lady, Angel, Silverwood. I see the three of you have been chatting recently. What do you guys think? One for injured.
I like it.
Okay.
Eldawan's watch gathered a small host of hunters and sent them north, but they have not been seen nor heard from
Ow.
since.
Hate when the screen flashes red.
Has this messenger from Cerveza survived? They came in injured, they weren't able to assist with the hunters. Did they die here? Or have they survived and can tell us what happened or what they were told to pass on?
There's a name for you. Person.
Excellent.
Survived? Okay. So let's do this. I'm gonna have Mary Gold because she's our medicine. Roll a medicine check to see how well this town treated the person. Ooh, good. They are stable. So, Vals is stable but not able to travel because of the injury. They're held up here in town, and our people can choose to go speak with him if they want to try to get intel about what happened.
Yeah, and I think that, like, that intel and that those discoveries through Val can be our starting to wind down the session.
Yep.
In order to open us up for some good information for next time. What do you think about that?
That lays out our plan, our route going forward, and what to expect and where to go.
Perfect. All right, so chat, if you want to have any details about anything in Val's report to us, feel free to put ideas in the chat about what might be in that report, and we will consider it as we shape this narrative together.
And for anyone who missed, this is a new custom setting. This is Matt and I pulling stuff out of our brains and making it up. We are creating a new setting. I had some ideas. I invited Matt to come along on this crazy journey with me to create this new setting. Ulfang.
Hello, Crawfang. Are you going to complicate matters?
He's going to say that foxes attack the village.
Or that Val's soft horn isn't Val's soft horn at all. He is Val's soft fang. And he is actually a fox person. Yeah, so a werefox? Oh my lord. I mean, we could have that. It makes sense that he hasn't recovered, and he might have a curse. Like, we don't know. The full moon hasn't happened yet. I don't hate it. DM, what do you think?
I'm thinking.
Or maybe Vel's knows, and maybe they have a family with a long history of this, and they have trained their family and their lineage to such a point that they can control the curse to some degree, and they become guardians of the forest or something.
Yeah. So the reason Sovesa is good hunters, the reason they can handle the cold climates, the reason they are somewhat more remote and away from the other clans, is Sovesa is a were clan.
Oh boy.
And unbeknownst to us, and so they've been keeping that a secret. And so unless we get really good rolls with our friend Balas here, we're not gonna know that.
Interesting.
And the problem is that the cult of the Eternal Frost has been messing with things, making it where they cannot control their change as much. And so they're having a harder time collecting food for winter because they're having a hard time not just remaining in like a bestial rage. So unless the problem's dealt with, they may all lose themselves completely to the beast within. Because that really complicates things.
Okay.
So werewolves, werefoxes, werecats, werebears, right? All the furry were creatures. Which is why they can survive and hunt in the winter up there, is because they have the big woolly coats. But then they also, in the coldest part of winter, stay inside with the fires.
Okay, so is from Sovesa and is unbeknownst to us a werefox. Okay. Well, we has a story here, folks.
That's why I paused and was thinking for a bit. I'm like, how would that work? How would that work? What would that mean?
Yeah, so Sovesa has been holding this secret. They have kept things relatively civil and controlled for a long time, and so this secret hasn't gotten out until this winter cult has arrived, started stirring nonsense up, and it's gotten harder and harder to control the change, harder and harder to contain because of what the Eternal Frost cult has been doing. They have some issue, maybe even beyond this, sent Val's Softhorn to the nearby village to Elderwin's Watch to try and get some help. Val's Softhorn was injured on the way and arrived half dead in Elderwin's Watch. Fortunately for us and for Val's, the fine people of Elderwin's Watch were able to tend to Val's wounds, but not all of them. Something has not cured, something has not healed, and they're not sure how to sort it out. But have bound his wounds, have sorted him out for the most part, but he is unable to travel. And this, and we don't know. Our characters don't know any of these things outside
Take
of
care,
the
lady.
fact that
Rest well.
Vels has arrived to declare that they needed help.
Yep.
And that the hunters have not come back.
Now, here's an interesting thought. What if the cult is using their bestial form so that they have a harder time not attacking their family and friends, but at the same time is starting to put pressure on them and launch guerrilla attacks on the town as well? So they're having to deal with trying to defend from inside and outside. And so they want help defending themselves from the skirmish attacks and stuff, but also are trying to still keep their secret. But it's going to be really hard the more people that show up.
I think that that's certainly something that we could entertain the idea of once we get closer to it.
The only reason I'm mentioning it is it could be something potentially that he could tell us. I guess we didn't give him a well-less agenda.
What do you think,
That's the only
chat?
reason I'm
Is
trying to figure it out.
Val's a female presenting character
Val's
or a
soft
male presenting character?
Is Valus Softhorn, male or female?
Silver says he. Cruelfang says he.
Two he's.
Okay.
Cool.
It is a male presenting character. Cool. Sweet. So what information does Val's share with the group? Do we need to make some make an impression checks first?
I would think
to
so.
see- Yeah.
Because, yeah, he's going to tell us they need help. But I don't think he's
All right.
necessarily willing to divulge all the secrets without that.
And here is our first chance for Peter, because he does not have diplomacy, but he does have a feature that we said that potentially he can offer to help and roll his
Labor. Or
labor,
community service. Community service is what we
community
said.
service to make an impression. So that could be something that comes up here as part of all of this. So otherwise, we're going to be rolling diplomacy. So here we go.
So who do we
Marigold.
want to present as our spokesperson?
Interesting, because I'm not sure, because we haven't really had a chance to sort out any of that, because we haven't.
So I was thinking it wouldn't make sense for us to all get a role, right? Because if we all go in there together, which would make sense that we would do, he would see one of us as the leader, whether we intended it or not. And that would be the one that he would react to most, thereby either speaking or not speaking.
All right. So why don't we make some different decisions then, slightly, to just flavor things a little bit more so that we get to keep this in a very sensical order. What I'm thinking is town or community governorship changes depending on your how you rule, right? So there are meritocracies, there are oligarchies, there are whatever else, right? So if we imagine that for Suveza, it is a pack led by an alpha mentality, which makes sense for them being a were clan.
Yep.
That that he, Vals, might be looking for the one that he, Val, considers to be the strongest and most alpha of us, because that's the power
makes sense.
structure that he knows.
I could see that. So who would be the most alpha? I could see Peter being because of his size,
Yeah, he's huge.
but he's also the gentle giant. So would he be considered the alpha, or would he be considered not the alpha? I'm good either way. This is me dialoguing with you. Because the alpha isn't necessarily the biggest brute of the lot.
No,
It's the most intelligent and leader of the group.
right?
If you look at like dog sleds as well, right? They have an alpha who is the who's the head of the sled, who has to be the smart one of the dog sled. It's the same thing with wolves and packs. They have to be skilled warrior, but that doesn't mean they're the biggest and toughest warrior.
It's an interesting
They have
group
to be
for this
intelligent.
discussion because
It is.
none of us really fit the archetypical leader type very well.
So that's the thing. Like Marigold has the
Personality-wise.
age.
She does.
Skewer has the martial prowess presentation. Thurbold has the were creature acumen kind of look to him, and the, you know, social graces and whatnot. And Peter has the size and robustness, right?
Right. Well, maybe our checks can represent that, right? Maybe we make
Could see that.
checks not to do the make an impression yet, but to see how he sees us, and then based on how he sees us, whoever gets the highest roll or however we want to establish it, that's the one that then makes the make an impression check.
Sure. So basically, let's do athletics check for Peter for how big and athletic, right?
Yeah.
Alpha presentation he is.
Yeah. And I'm going to do maybe society for Marigold,
Yeah.
because she's just a midwife, right? So, like, knowing people and how things work,
Yep.
who to refer to is her stuff. So I think I'll roll that. Oh my
Did
lord.
deception
okay.
for Thurbold.
Thurbold is right up there, and Skewer is probably athletics too, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Athletics, fortitude.
Oh my lord.
Warfare.
Well, it looks like Thurbold is the one that Vals is deferring to right now. So, Thurbold.
Thurbold shall talk to the man.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna hero point that.
point! Hero
I'm absolutely gonna hero point that. We need this.
Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. With a 13, I don't think they're gonna tell us much.
We can pick one person to try to aid, and that will either make us pass or fail. That's the only thing I can think of that would make this any different. Because we all are there, I would see an aid being part of it.
And it's a diplomacy check?
Diplomacy or some sort of support skill to the diplomatic talk with him. So either we can do Peter's +4 community service.
That'd be cool.
We could do Skewer's 4 intimidation or 3
Yeah.
warfare.
Yeah. And then Marigold has a few things that could possibly work as well. She's got knowledge.
Cultism I could actually see working.
You think?
Because if he mentions there's weird things going on during his talk,
Yeah, I see
I
that.
could see that working.
Alright, shall we go with that and go like we've already, because they've been harrowed, like
Yeah.
on their trip here. So she's like, weird shit's going on. So we've got a 13 plus, if this succeeds, DC 15. It does. It's a critical success, which means that comes up to being a success to our class, to our level, just barely, just.
Yep.
Because that's a +4. Wow.
Oh man, that was so
We're
close.
scraping this through, man. This is like. So I don't think he's going to tell us everything, but he will say something because of Thurbol's diplomacy
So I think he
coupled
tells
with.
us that they're under attack and they're being accosted by the cult. And that's how he got his injury. And that's why he came for help. But I don't think he tells us anything about the were creatures or anything.
Oh, no. No, that would
So
be a
when we
critical
get
success.
there, they tell us we have to be inside during the night. So we are going, since we don't know about it, we're going to be required to be inside during the night by these people.
Okay. To be. So
And they're going
he's willing to tell
try
us
to
that.
lead us-
That's really good information, actually.
Well, because he does want help, right? He it's in his interest to get us there to get help. But he doesn't
Wow.
want to divulge
This-
the secrets, right?
Yeah.
So he's telling us, yes, we need help. We're being attacked by the cult. You're not allowed outside at night because they're so dangerous with their activity. But it's not their activity per se. It's actually the other. We don't know that. Just DMs and viewers get to know. The activity at night is the were creatures, uncontrolled. But the characters know they're under attack by the cultists. They need help. It's causing problems. And we can't be outside at night. So he's going to go ahead and tell them, don't be outside at night. We need help. The cultists are attacking. So those are the basic info that our party knows.
Yeah, and they steel themselves to march at first light, given that we know that the town is under attack actively. We steel themselves, which is a beautiful launching point for next week,
Yep.
folks.
As we march into the tundra.
Yes, to try and save Sylvetsa from the attacks of this cult and all of the other shenanigans that we don't
The cult
know
of the
about.
eternal frost.
All
Attacks
right.
my home, my people, my family. Please help them. Just be warned. Do not be outside at night.
Perfect. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this session. It's been great to be here with DM Nix. Thank you, DM Nix, for involving me and including me and doing this together. This is pretty exciting and interesting and fun. And people at home seem to be really enjoying it. People that are watching seem to be really enjoying it. And we are building your world and making it, I don't know, probably different to what you expected, but we're expanding it and growing it every session. So we're gonna head off. I'm gonna find someone to raid out to. So bear with us while I get us to the Be Right Back screen. Please look after yourselves, everyone. Take care. Be kind to yourselves, and be good to each other. My name's Matt Nahat, and until next time, be well.
For you all watching, thank you all for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Be sure to join us next time for more. Until then, enjoy the story. We'll see you guys next time.